Okay, so Blanca, tell me about your situation. You said that you're not sure yet if it's going to be synchronous or asynchronous. When are you starting back?
Well, we're supposed to go back April 7th. So we are probably going to have to do some e-learning next week or starting next week, but we're
Mm-hmm.
not sure what type of e-learning. There hasn't been a lot of communication with like the specifics or the logistics for it, but I don't think that it's going to be everyone watching like a video of me
Okay. Um,
at the
so
same.
if they don't have specifics for you, have you heard that there's because what was really confusing to me was when you said like you're not like capable of using Zoom, and I was wondering if there's like some kind of rule against it for some reason.
I don't think that there's a rule. It's just like accessibility for students, right? Like not all of them have access to the internet at
Mm-hmm.
a time.
Yeah.
So maybe like if is there can you do this activity just provided like a video of yourself that they can
Yes, yes, of course. Yeah.
yeah.
So honestly, Blanca, Zoom has been made for free, or it has been made free to the teachers who need it right now from the big crisis that we're going through. And so I would highly recommend myself using Zoom just to record yourself. I'll just sit down in front of the computer screen because Zoom, it has a really good interface, and it'll let you record it to a link that makes it super easy to deal with. Because you know how, I don't know if you've ever like worked with YouTube or anything, like it takes so long to like download and upload videos. And right now the upload and download speeds are getting kind of like overloaded because so many people are working at home. You know, it's like we think we live in this brave world of like everything's in the future, and then like something like this happens and we see that there's actually limits to that, what the internet can actually do, because we're like, I always feel like the internet can do anything anytime I want, and now it's gotten a little slower, so it's like, whoa. So
Okay.
I wouldn't want to be using anything that makes me have to like have like the file, like if I use my phone and it doesn't go from my phone to the internet, and it's like I have this video sitting here on my phone. I don't know if you've ever had that experience of like your phone is full of all this really big stuff, and then getting it off your phone is like a big drag.
Yes. So if you're using Zoom, can you like you said like you can like give a link to the students or the class? Do they need like a code like with it for the meeting?
No, when I here, look, I'll take you into my Zoom, and I'm not sure if your Zoom will be different from mine, because I have a business, I pay extra for certain features, but I'll just take you into so I'm just gonna close out of all of this. Um, I'll just take you to like a fresh new Zoom page, okay?
Okay.
So I'm still in the mode of typing in Zuzu language. I wonder how many Z's if you go on before you stop losing, before you don't get any more. I guess 4 Z's is like after 4, there's nothing. Okay, so Zoom. And so here are all my recordings. So the one that I just did today is still processing, but all the other ones are ready to go. So here's the one from yesterday. So I can either just click over here and it says share, and then I can just copy this link and
Okay.
just to prove it to you that it's actually there, I'll just come over here and paste the link, and there it is. And you can actually also like download it from here. So if I click that download, then it will start downloading it. Like, remember I said like when you have something on your phone, it's this big file that it's like has to go somewhere. Well, you can do it in reverse this way. So you can take it off the web, and then you can have the big fat file. If you wanted to edit it or something like that, every so often I want to do that. But if I was teaching children online, I wouldn't want to edit it. I would just want to put it on there raw. You know what? They see me raw every single day. I'm probably actually much more pleasant to look at when I'm sitting at home drinking tea or coffee than when I'm at home or at school all tired and everything. So if they can handle me at school, they can handle my raw, uncut footage from my house, I think. Um, and so it has this, like I said, this area in here where everything is getting stored. So in order to share a meeting, like if you did want, you know, maybe you don't do the meetings. Like, I don't know, Blanca, how you feel, if you feel like you miss your students or you feel lonely. I'm getting a little stir crazy. So if I had a class of students, I mean, look at what I'm doing right now. I'm basically teaching online every day, but I'm teaching grownups because I'm so lonely. I just sat down the first day of this quarantine and like scheduled like all the way till April the 5th, like that I was going to do a webinar every day because I thought I would be going insane if I didn't. Just me, my husband, and our dog, you know, sitting around. I can only eat so much baked goods, you know. I'm like, somebody told me the Corona 15. I'm like, getting the Corona 15. So anyways, enough ranting, more teaching. So you go here to share with your students. And I was going to say that even if there's like an equity issue of like some kids can, you know, like access the videos and other kids can't, you could still like offer, you know, office hours or something like that. And it could be optional. So if you want to play around with this, you know, it might behoove you to do so if you want to try it out. So I have the, like I said, like I have a business account. And so we pay extra to have the ability to do webinars. But I think the basic account doesn't come with that. It just comes with meetings. So you can do two different things. You can literally just say host a meeting right now. And you just say with video on. And I probably can't start a new meeting and show you how to do it because it would be a little meta, Blanca. Like we're in a meeting and I'm starting a new meeting to show you the meeting. I don't think it goes quite that high, you know, in the meta, the meta echelons up there. So, but you could just do this, or you can say schedule a meeting, and then you get this code, and then you can ask for a password. But for students, I wouldn't do that. That's like an extra step that they don't need. There's all kinds of options that you can use. And then when you save it, you can do two things. So this right here is my phone number. Please don't text me. But Blanca, for you, yes. Anybody watching this? No. That's actually not my phone number. That's like the direct line to Santa Claus at the North Pole. But anyways, you can either generate, Zoom will just make a blank or like a, whatever you call it, like a random meeting for you, or you can tell Zoom your phone number, and that way you always have the same like code. So you always just say, go to Zoom and go to the ID, you know, 503-888-8888. And then you can play around with all these different things. It doesn't really matter. I never change anything about it, and my meetings are always just fine. But you do, I would think, want to take off the meeting password and no registration. Okay.
Okay.
And you don't, and another thing is you actually don't have to like go through, it's kind of weird. You don't have to go through all this here either. If you just were to say, you know, Monday, April 7th or whatever day you're going back, right? And then you just leave that blank and say save. You'll have this link in here if you go to the My Meetings. And you can start at any time. I can start it right now. It's not like I'm sitting around waiting for like 2:00 p.m. today because that's what it said on there. I think it's just because like it will like order them for you and keep you more organized, but it doesn't really matter. Like if you're just going in there really quick and making a meeting, I never even worry about the date and time. I'm like, there it is right there. I don't need to have it like ordered in some special way. Now, if you were going to go through and schedule everything out, Blanca, like if you wanted to do a meeting on Monday, Wednesday, Friday, then I probably would use the time and date and stuff like that. But I wouldn't worry so much even about the time. I would just use the date. I would use the least amount of details that I could possibly get away with, because it doesn't honestly matter what you tell Zoom. It'll let you start the meeting anytime that you want. And so then if you wanted to set up a Google Classroom, like for students to be able to see this, you would come here, and I like to do it like this though, because see, look at this. There's 2 recordings, but one of them is probably me sitting there picking my nose, Blanca. Look, 11 minutes or 11 seconds is probably me like, you know, sniffing to make sure I don't smell bad or something like that. So I don't like to send anybody the link from this list because I don't want them to see all the bad things. So I always go into here and just to make sure, like, look at this one. It's just obviously, okay, let's see what it is. You see, look. I'm like, I'm like trying to get comfortable, and then I'm like, oh wait a sec, hang on. At least I'm not picking my nose, right? But sometimes I am, so I don't want anybody to see that. So then I can look down here, and it says that it was a minute and 25 minute, or sorry, an hour and 25 minutes. So then I know it's the right one. And if I copy this, then whatever I put it into, Google Classroom, email, whatever, it's right there. Do you know how to use Google Classroom?
I do.
Okay, so if you're using Google Classroom, what you're gonna do is, I'll just go to like one of my Google Classrooms, one of my mini Google Classrooms. Let's go to the Charleston Professional Development Day that never got used. Then you can just stick it right here. Then you can say, you know, or you can add the link, if you want, if you want to be really official. And then up here, you can say something like, watch this video and fill out the Google form. Okay. So if you're doing this asynchronously, then these Charleston people, if they're still using this, no, this was like in another world before this virus hit, that I was actually in Charleston, so I don't know if they're going to be watching this or not. If you want them to fill out this Google form, I don't know if there's a way to put two things in one place, because I think what you have to do here is go and add something from your Google Drive, which I just made, so it should be right here. So I can take this, and I think if I add this, it will be like,
Well, it seems like you can add something else because you still have the option to add something.
oh yeah, there's tons of different things. But my question is, Blanca, if I add this, is it going to be, so fill this out with lesson 1. And the reason that it's so great to have these like little icons is that, whoops, that's my Bitmoji. Not that. Like to have these little icons, it's really great because that way the students can like match it up. Like this has a flower, that has a flower, and like it'd probably be best to put a flower down here, because that way like they know just a little, a little extra visuals, especially because like if we're communicating in another language, it's sometimes good to just give them reinforcement for what we're trying to say. But I would do Blanca, I would do all this in English, because it's confusing enough for students. I don't want them to
Oh,
be
I
like,
agree. Yes.
I don't want them to be like, what it says, like, leçon 1, like what's leçon 1, like what's, activité 2, like I don't know these words, because they just don't have me to be there to make sure that they get these really important details, like how to actually do the learning activity. So I wonder if they click on this, my question was, do they go to the form to fill it out, or do they go to like the edit the form? But they don't, they go right to the filling it out. And so what you'd have to do if it's like they're watching, so this is if they're watching a recording, right? So this is what it would look like for the students. They'd be like, okay, I gotta watch this. And they'd be watching you, right? And then isn't it weird that like I'm sitting in the same place, but at least I'm not wearing the same outfit, even though I was wearing that outfit right before I started this meeting, because I haven't changed out of my PJs in days. So then they would have to stop. You'd have to say, like, if it's not live, Blanca, you would have to say, okay, students, now you're going to pause this video and go do question 1. You know what I mean?
Yes.
Because they have to go and actually do it it's like they have a piece of paper. If you have if it's like, I guess, live experience for them, then you wouldn't put in the video because you'd be making the video with them. You would tell them, like, on the video, go to the link that I gave you guys in whatever, Google Classroom or something like that, and I'll be leading you through it. So if you're doing a Zoom meeting, from like my side, what you see, so yours looks a little different. It doesn't have like the controls down at the bottom. So I don't think yours says, like, if you look down at the bottom of the Zoom screen, I don't think yours will say like the number of participants, right?
No, it does not.
So what do you see down at the bottom? I think it's just a couple things.
Yeah, it only has mute, chat, and raised hand.
Okay.
And meeting.
So mine has all kinds of different controls at the bottom because I'm the teacher. And so it tells me how many participants I have. There's also a polling option. So I can add questions and then like deploy the questions when I want to. So I could ask the kids to like answer a question like in real time. I can also, obviously see their chats. And then there's this thing at the bottom that says share. And it's this little button that will share your screen with the kids. So if they were working in a Google form, you would have to set that up like ahead of time in the Google Classroom, which it sounds like you know all about that. And they would be on their computers and they would have two things going on, watching you, and they would also have their Google form open to like respond to you. Or you could have them do it in this polling or in the chat. But the thing is, Blanca, if you do it in the chat or you just do the like poll, here, I'm gonna make a little poll right now. We'll see how it looks to you guys. So let's see, add a question. Enter a title for this poll. How awesome is Blanca? So awesome. As awesome as a chicken. Somebody was, I don't know if you were here, Blanca, at the beginning, people were talking about how much they love chickens. A goat. The goat. Like, greatest of all time. All right. Save. Edit poll success. So if I come back over here and I want to like use my poll, launching my poll. Okay. There you go. Wait. Okay, there's two more people, so hopefully they'll answer. And you see the time counting down, like you can tell your students they only have a little bit of time. But you're not gonna get, okay, I'm just gonna go ahead and end the poll. Blanca, it looks like you're tied for like the greatest of all time and as awesome as a chicken. So I guess that's pretty good.
I'll take it, that's fine.
Yeah, so share results. Attendees are now viewing poll results. So now we can talk about this. So you could do like a class survey with this information. But the thing is that now I don't have this sweet little Google form like I was showing you guys earlier that I set up when I did my Google form, and I have the spreadsheet. So I have everybody's participation. So I have something to grade. Because, a lot of times I grade them, like I kind of watch them in class. Well, I can't do that here. So like, that's my way of like watching them in class is having that Google form. So the polls are really fun to engage them and stuff like that, but it's not a good way to get data. That's why the Google form is good. So then at the bottom of my screen, besides the number of people and then polling, it says share. And then when I go to share, there's all kinds of things that I can share. I can actually share something off of my phone. I can either do it with, it has to be an iPhone, but if you have an iPhone, you can use AirPlay to like communicate with Zoom, and you can show things from your phone. So that's kind of cool because you can be over here, like you can be, like I could quit sharing my screen and have my face full screen for my kids, and then like also like pop this up and I don't have to worry about like having everything on my screen. That's kind of nice. Or I can share my entire screen, or I can just share like one thing. So I'm gonna just share this thing. So this is just this one screen. So I'm gonna go down here and open up Safari, which is a different browser. And I'm gonna go to the only thing I use my Safari for is like to do YouTube. So I just keep it separate. So like you can't see what I'm doing over here, right? Like you don't know what I'm looking at. If I wanted to have something like queued up in another window, I could have it there like ready to go. And I could just come over here and like have it like, sometimes we want a little bit of mystery, and we don't want them to see everything until it's time. And so what you can do is like have another window ready to go. Like, let's say I want to tell this little story that I made yesterday. So then I go and I say new share, and I can just pop over here. And then it's like, hey, you guys, here we are, like over here in this new thing. Do you see that?
Yes, I
Like the
see.
United States. So, and then just like I can share all those other things, I can also share my view of anything that I want them to like interact with in the Google poll or in the Google form. So when I was talking to you guys about like the pictures of the women in Cuba and all that, like I would want them to have their Google form on their device and my picture or my video of me talking to them in real time at the same time. Or I would want them to have both of the video and the Google form in the Google Classroom. And then the video would have to say like, okay, now it's time to go fill out question 2, 3, and 4. Then come back. And they'd hurry over there, fill it out, and then come back. And they could all do it whenever, you know, they could be doing it at 2:00 in the morning. Knowing teenagers, they probably will. And then you can say they, you know, you got to finish this lesson by Thursday at 12:00 noon, and then I'm going to grade them.
Okay.
So Blanca, does that help?
Yeah, that helped a lot. Thank you so
Good,
much.
I'm glad.
It was a little bit like overwhelming, just kind of like going through the activity. And I was like, well, how would that work? Because you like you said, it works more if it's like person, like if you're in front of the classroom, but like here.
Oh yeah.
So it's like, well, how do I set this up?
Well, honestly though, like in some ways teaching online is a lot easier. I mean, the other day I was like telling my husband like, whoa, my commute, whoa, it's wearing me out. I got to walk all the way to my bedroom in there.
Yeah, well, you have to like, you know, like change from your PJs and you can just...
I had to. I know. Yeah. Well, I was like revisiting my PJs in that video from yesterday because I had them on and then I slept and then I woke up and I was wearing them until like this video. And then I was like, I can't do it. I can't have PJs 2 days in a row. Like that's the coronavirus like social faux pas. PJs 1 day, okay. 2 days, same PJs, no.
Gotta get some like real clothes on.
Yeah, I did. Look, I even put on like, you know, I really like, I even have on real shoes, okay?
No, well, thank you so much for the clarification. It was really, really helpful.
I'm glad. And you know, Blanca, I would advise you to play around and like teach a lesson to your dog or something like that. Or maybe just play around like recording a lesson for your students. Because do you remember when I was doing like I've done a lot of Zoom, you know, in my day, like not with kids so much, but with adults. And even though I'm pretty good with Zoom, were you watching when I don't think you were at the very, very beginning minute. So I maybe you were, and I just missed your name or something. But I think, oh yeah, it was while I was talking about the women in the car and drawing on the picture, and then somehow it like wouldn't get out of the presentation mode, and I couldn't find it anymore, and I lost my thing. So little weird things like that, they're probably gonna come up. And you just gotta like breathe, you know, and just like I would say in English to my kids, like, this is all new for me. Hang on.
Oh, and I mean, that happens in the classroom too. When
yeah,
like,
exactly. It's like when the computer,
and you're like, hold on, let me figure it out.
Yeah. So you've got a good attitude about it. Some people get really freaked out though about technology. So it's just like, take a deep breath, reset yourself. But what I'm saying is, you know, even with a lot of like experience using Zoom, sometimes I get into a weird situation, but your weird situations are going to be less if you do a couple of just play lessons, you know, maybe just 10 minutes or something like that, just to kind of go through all the different like parts of the lesson that you want to use. And then Blanca, I would highly recommend like coming up with like that Google document or that Google form, coming up with some like repetitious, you know, structure that you can use every single day. And that way you just replicate the form. And then once you get the hang of going from this thing to that thing, you know, maybe you've got the video on one screen like I just did, and then you've always got this other thing and on this other screen, and then you're always going to the same, not the exact same form, but the same kind of Google form that's the same sort of categories. That is going to make everything so much more manageable, because then all you have to do is think, well, what video am I going to show and what pictures am I going to put in there? And that's all you have to think about, you know, instead of like, okay, today's a whole new day. I got to figure out how to adapt every single thing, because that's going to wear us all out.
Yes, I agree. Thank you.
You're very welcome. And you'll Eventbrite, where you got your ticket for the webinar, it will send you a link. But I'm recording this to my own computer, and I'm gonna probably like just upload it on a unlisted channel on YouTube, or not channel, but you know how you can say that, I don't know, maybe you don't use YouTube a lot, but you can put them public or private. So I'll probably put it on, I don't know though, Blanca, maybe people would want to like watch this video. Maybe I should put it public. Would that bother you?
It's fine.
Okay, good. I'll do that.
So
then everybody can see it, and I'll send you the link.
Okay, sounds great. Thank you.
In case you want to review. Well, thanks for letting me interview you, because I love solving problems. It's so much fun.
No, well, thank you for like taking extra time and like helping me with this.
Blanca, all I have is time. All I have is time and my amazing wardrobe. Okay, well, bye everybody.
Bye.